Understand, 'cause we are the Tech Shamans. Dude, I got this cool thing to show you. Really, man? Yeah, it's far out and technical and stuff. Boy, so yeah. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Cool.
Hey, good morning.
Happy Monday,
it's
which
Tech
is
Monday.
an oxymoron.
Oh my God. It's Tech Monday.
Monday.
Oh, so did everybody have a good weekend? Hey, everybody, thanks for watching. We appreciate it.
Yes.
We're going to be all over the place today because some of the stuff we got is semi-tech and some of the stuff is tech and some of it is like some super tech I threw in there for our boy there. So he can really go, he can get geek out on us or tech out on us, whatever you're going to call it. Oh, look, a pair of geeks is coming.
I might even have something
Hey.
that's not in there.
Oh, that's even better. So we got a write-up out of Knoxville, Tennessee.
Oh, no.
No, Rogersville, Tennessee.
That's not a write-up. That's called an arrest warrant.
Oh, crap.
There-
Oh,
there-
that's
there's
what
a subtle
that is?
difference, yes.
Damn, I didn't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't hear about that. Why didn't I hear about
I
that?
put it in our chat.
Oh, that would explain why I
That's
didn't
okay,
see
yeah.
it.
Anyway, I just got it late last night. and we
Cool.
put it in the chat this morning. Anyway,
Sweet.
so did you tech out this weekend or non-tech out this weekend?
I non-teched out.
Non-teched out. That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
a good thing.
I guess.
What did you?
It was MedTech. No, it was a MedTech weekend. No, I ended up doing a lot of stuff online yesterday, working on websites and programs. And
Actually, you came to the
apps
rescue of a film that was going
That was
the
tech.
wrong direction.
That was tech.
Well, was it though?
Well, yeah. I mean,
I know technically
you're using
you had
electricity and making movies
Yeah,
and
so we were shooting
film,
right.
but yes, I mean, there was what you were filming was not tech.
No.
You were filming magic.
Magic, right? So
Yes.
Anyway, so same here. I did not tech. I actually drank wine this weekend.
Good man.
I was
Good
like,
man.
feeling
I drank
no
a
pain
lot of tea.
Saturday night.
I drank a lot of tea and a little bit of Guinness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, you didn't stick around for the Brooksville tea.
Yeah, I heard about that.
That was really good. We drank them out.
Good man.
We cleaned
Good
them out. They wouldn't
man.
make any more. They're like, no, we're good.
No.
Buy the rest of the stuff. I'm like, fine, whatever. Yeah, it was kind of nice to.
That was a beautiful place. That winery up in Brooksville is just gorgeous. It sits up on a hillside. Right. I'm on a hilltop. It's not on a hillside. We don't have hillsides in Florida.
It's one of the highest places in Florida, which is weird.
Which is
to say that.
Yeah, and here you go. What is the highest peak in Florida? Anybody know?
No.
You ready?
No. Go ahead.
Molehill?
Close.
You were close.
The Matterhorn at Disney World.
The Matterhorn. Oh my God. That's funny.
The Matterhorn at Disney World is the highest peak in Florida.
Does it matter?
Yeah,
It doesn't matter.
Ha.
I think I saw something like that. I guess there's some ridge that runs down the middle of Florida, though.
And this is
Exactly.
part of
Yeah,
it.
it's a high spot. So when you add that extra 199 feet on top,
Right.
and it has to be under 200 feet, otherwise they have to put a red light on top, which really makes it not look like a mountain at all anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the same thing with the
Trying to make a mountain out of
the Hollywood Hotel, which used to be the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, everything has to be just under 200 feet. The Eiffel Tower at Epcot, just under 200 feet, so that they don't have to put the big red light on top to warn airplanes off.
No, kind of takes away from the aesthetic, right?
It really does. It's like, yeah, I remember seeing that on the top of the Matterhorn.
But
when I
the
was in
actual
Switzerland.
Eiffel Tower has a light on it.
Well, yeah, but. So, Adam, what'd you do this weekend?
I don't know.
I was actually thinking that while I'm saying it, because the Eiffel Tower would actually look real with a light on top.
I've been there, so
I guess
so
how
fine.
much the electric, maybe they're trying to keep away from having to pay that electric bill to run that little light.
Well, now that they're all LEDs, they're kind of cheap.
Yeah, I know. It's like, just put it on there.
I mean, my electric bill, I switched everything over, and it's only up 60% from last year. So I'm really happy with that.
right because you're using more heat now.
No, because the rates are higher. The rates are through the roof.
Damn.
At least we're not in Texas.
Yeah, their electric bills went way down,
Yeah.
Way
except for those who still have power.
Yeah,
They went
it's-
way up.
Oh well, I guess everybody's not using
gotta
electricity,
pay
so
for that
you're paying
stuff,
for the
right?
difference.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So we're going to jump in.
And that would be an interesting thing to talk about from the tech standpoint, because one of the new studies is out on that and what actually caused it, what caused the problems.
What caused the problem?
It was,
Well, now we're going to divert, which is fun.
We're diverting,
which is fine.
guys, diverting.
The latest research shows that although the natural gas lines did have freezes in some areas.
Yeah.
Okay. The fact was, the main problem was a massive surge in demand for natural gas when the windmills and solar panels went out. The windmills froze, and that cut off a huge chunk of energy, and then the solar panels got snowed over.
They got iced over.
And so there was no sunlight getting through to power them, and the demand for natural gas spiked, and that system could not handle the spike. So it wasn't anything really going back to the natural gas system per se. The natural gas system actually never failed. It just couldn't ramp up fast enough because of, little things like frozen lines, okay, to actually compensate. And they couldn't bring in enough electricity from out of state. They tried, but their grid couldn't handle the flow in the other direction. And so it ended up causing, basically the green tech was very poorly designed for the environment there. But a lot of that money that went into buying those windmills and everything else ended up going straight into the pockets of donors, who then turned around and gave it right back to the politicians that helped fund it.
But here's the thing, and it's not. We'll never sit there and go, solar's not good, wind's not good, blah blah blah. But and on top of that, something that on that scale has never been tested, because they've never had something like that hit.
Well,
like that,
they also
right?
had an order from the EPA that minimized the amount of precautions they were allowed to take.
See,
That didn't help.
That didn't help.
Yeah, they had an order on February 14th telling them, if you go beyond this, you're going to have to do this, 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 and this. And so they had to give it their best guess, and they underguessed. And that was that. So they weren't even allowed to prepare properly.
There should be an acronym for guessing, like there is for assuming.
Yeah.
When you assume, you make an ass out of you and me.
Yeah. So when you guess, you make a goo out of S.
All right.
Isn't that how they teach math now? Just an educated guess.
Yeah, there's no absolutes.
It's all estimating.
We just estimate it.
We don't know anything.
Yeah, that's how we got to the moon. All those
just
NASA
slingshotted
calculators.
them up there?
Well, no, they just guessed.
Yeah.
It was just estimates.
Those are some smart women.
I mean, hey,
Yeah.
they just
They weren't that smart because they only had to guess.
look at what they did when they landed that rover. Last
Friday.
weekend.
Yeah.
So they must have just figured that would just
They
happen.
just guessed right.
guessing.
They're just good guess.
Yeah, good guess.
Hey, let's put a drone up there and drop a rover onto the
looks good
planet.
for my house. I think it'll work.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, did anybody say where that little drone after it got done dropping the lander, where it went to? Because I saw that they said it just flew off, and I'm like, okay, then where did it go? I mean,
Crash.
Did it have a place to go? I mean, is it out there scouting around? Or
So
just...
instead of polluting our atmosphere now,
Yes.
now they're going to do Mars.
Oh, thank goodness.
Time we finally get to Mars, there'll be 1,000 satellites around it.
Now we know. Now we know why they show the future always dirty and stuff, because we've already polluted the planet before we got there.
pretty
And we're
much.
like, oh, hey,
Pretty much.
let's start our society now.
It's funny because we go there and there isn't a breathable atmosphere. So we'll go ahead and create one so that we can pollute it.
Exactly.
That's great.
Yeah. Anyway, so I normally I try to find individual. But this one here is from the Business Insider. I like this top 10 tech things you need to know today, right? So number one, Google fired a second AI ethicist.
I think that when that article was released, I think they're now on their third one.
Oh, they're on a third one?
I believe so.
Yeah, firm fired Margaret Mitchell, the founder and former CEO lead of ethical AI team.
And not the author of Gone with the Wind. Different Margaret Mitchell. Go ahead.
And you know what? It makes you wonder that if you let go of the ethical scientists who are, heading
The
up.
ethicists,
The ones that
people
are-
who are saying no, that's wrong. It's like,
Right.
oh no, you're fired.
AI should not run the world. No, stop.
Yeah, we've all seen how that works out, Terminator.
Oh God,
be
it's time to
back.
go watch Terminator 2 tonight.
Yeah, you need to go watch that then, because that's what happens. All right,
Exactly.
so next, a former ByteDance employee claims censorship. A former employee of TikTok's parent company ByteDance has claimed it tried to develop an algorithm to censor live streams in the Uyghur language.
Oh, Uyghur.
Uyghur.
These
Okay, the
these
Uyghur.
are the people that are being oppressed and basically having genocide committed against them in China right now.
Okay.
And we've been told that we need to be understanding that it's okay in China, so therefore we should be okay with it. But I'm really not okay with it. And no, they are the. So apparently they're doing everything they can to not let anybody know what's going on. Isn't that just great?
See. Number 3, Uber lost a key court battle. The UK Supreme Court ruled on Friday that its drivers are workers entitled to more rights rather than contractors.
And we're heading towards something like that. They're trying to push. They did that in California, and it absolutely destroyed the freelance gig economy.
How about that?
all of the what happened was all these companies just stopped hiring anybody from California. And they went, across the border where they could continue to hire people to do work, and all these people in California lost their jobs.
Yep.
Lost their livelihoods. Let me
Talking about they
rephrase
brought
that.
the Mexicans in and let them work?
No.
Or the Canadians in?
No,
Canadians?
no.
Canada guys?
No, they just hired people from Oklahoma
Or Oregon?
or anywhere else.
Las
okay,
Vegas.
and now they want to make that national. So you're right. Now it's going to be
It's
higher
like
Canadians,
socialism
higher.
and shit don't work. Just saying. Sorry.
It has been proven time and time again, John, that they just aren't doing it right.
They just don't. Oh,
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. So number 4, exclusive, right? Microsoft slammed Facebook's Australian news ban. In an interview with the Insider, company president Brad Smith said he was surprised by the ban and thought it was a mistake.
Wow, that's a slam. I think you made a mistake. I think they need to redefine the word slam.
I think
Okay.
Mistake.
Yeah. You may.
I don't think they meant to do that. It was a mistake. Right, okay, anyway. MailChimp responded to allegations of gender bias. CEO Ben Chestnut responded on Friday allegations of gender discrimination and harassment at the company, telling employees in that email we have work to do on pay equity and inclusion.
I'm going to say. I mean, look. Okay, this is going to be completely wrong, and I shouldn't say it.
Say it anyway,
because
baby.
I really
Say it
do.
anyway.
Am totally understanding of equal rights, but I mean, the name of the place is Male Chimp. It's not Female Chimp.
Mercy.
So therefore,
Oh boy.
Wow. Okay. So, WhatsApp users will lose access if they don't agree to the new terms. So,
yeah, that's kind of.
users
I mean,
have
like, when
until
is that not the
15th,
case?
Yeah, to sign off on the new privacy policy or TechCrunch.
Oh, you
reported that
mean
it
Facebook is pushing their agenda again?
again.
Because they own WhatsApp.
Of course.
Again. Speaking of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, Jack Dorsey, and Sundar Pichai will testify before Congress again.
which only one of the main big tech companies, you look at them all, you look at Apple, you look at all these companies, Amazon, the whole 9 yards, only one of them still has their founder as CEO.
Yeah.
Facebook.
Oh,
Everybody else has had a generational change now, except Facebook, because he started when he was 12 or something, so he's got a couple more years to go.
when's
Well, he
he
doesn't
gonna,
know what else he's going to do.
When's he going to step out and let somebody else?
I don't know, but I just saw like the first 5 minutes of that Zuckerberg biopic there, the social whatever it was.
The social.
Yeah, or no, the social, something. But whatever it was, I saw that and I'm like, oh my God, I would absolutely not be able to stand being around this person. Wow, if this actor is portraying him anything like he really is, oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, so Valve is fighting a subpoena from Apple. And the subpoena is part of Apple's fight with Epic Games, and Valve has refused to hand over certain information about its revenues and the games it hosts. Let it go, let it go. That's all I can say.
That's it.
Right? Sequoia Capital got hacked. Well, we've known about that. That's not something new. And then we asked European investors to pick the hottest insurance startups. Last year, more than $7 billion went into insurance startups globally, according to CB Insights. So that's the top 10 quick things that we need to know, right?
Now,
So
you know
now
that.
we're going to jump into something. I think Anthony put this in.
Now we're going to talk about things you want to know.
Want to know? Well, I don't know if I want to know
Stuff
this.
you'll want to discuss.
But
at the-
okay, so the Washington Free Beacon,
Yep.
Orthodox Jews slam Amazon Prime regulations.
Yep.
And why, Anthony?
Amazon.
Why did they get slammed?
Amazon is, being Amazon, and they are making certain requirements for anybody to be a specific Prime seller to be moved up in their rankings and to get any kind of advantage. And one of those is that you have to be able to ship 7 days a week.
Right.
And of course, Orthodox Jews are like, Friday night to Saturday night, sorry, we're off the clock. And so they're saying, okay, then we're booting you out of our Prime program.
Again, I'm gonna take the, this is
Yep.
this could be a Twisted Views show all by itself. But here's again, if
Yep.
you want to sell on Amazon and you have to abide by the rules. If you don't want to abide by the rules, then you're just not going to be a Prime.
You are absolutely correct.
That's how simple that is. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm
Yep.
just saying here is
Yep.
the facts.
Yep.
You
And
sign this piece of paper saying I am going to ship 7 days a week and I'm good with that. I want to be a Prime guy. There
right.
you go.
Except that wasn't the agreement.
Originally.
They changed it.
Well, again,
See, they've changed it again now so
Oh,
that you
Amazon,
have to do
that's
these
their-
things.
well, then-
and I know it's their prerogative.
They can
to
step back and
change
not be
their,
a Prime.
Their demands.
I bet one of those companies.
The
B&H
problem
Video.
is the problem is they have to give up being Prime on the other 6 days as well, and so their entire businesses are delisted basically.
they're not delisted. They're just pulled off the list.
That it would be the definition of delisted, John. The
Well, then here, let me
Yeah.
let me show you how to fix this. So you can't ship from Friday night to Saturday night, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you send all your shit out on Thursday.
well, that's great if you have the orders in, but if an order comes in, you have to turn around 24 hours. So if an order comes in Friday night, you got to have it out the
Then you
door
just-
by Saturday
then-
night, and you've got no mechanism in place. The
That's
bottom
true.
line is there is no allowance being made here for anyone with any kind of
Well,
beliefs or philosophies or anything
But that's a
that
slippery
may
slope.
be different. It is.
You start letting one, you got next one. Well, I'm Kwanzaa. You can't do them. Blah blah blah. And this, and I'm
I'm not
Jewish.
going to do
and I'm
this
not
on Thursdays. And you
So-
know what? I personally don't have an issue with that.
Well, I mean,
But
if they want to ship, 7 days a week, I mean, and they want to keep their, keep
Hire
going, just hire-
non-Jewish.
just hire an outside company to handle it.
it's
Yeah.
they would have
But
to
their business
hire
is not
more
running very
people
kosher,
in order to.
That's right. It's not kosher then.
It's not kosher.
See,
yeah.
I've learned, because I've been in this world for a long time, that when we order stuff to one of our favorite companies, which is B&H Video,
Right.
right? Well, we know that if we order an item on a certain day,
Yeah.
or we actually can't even put the order in on a certain day if because they're acidic Jews,
Yep.
right? And so I think they're acidic. Yeah, I think they're acidic. So we know that we respect the fact that we won't get it
Exactly.
tomorrow, but you know what? That's okay.
Exactly.
That's okay.
And these people aren't being allowed to be okay. That's the primary drive against this thing. Is when is anybody allowed to be
the
okay?
companies?
I think
I
it's
think so.
messed up that when they make up those new rules that
Yeah.
they don't grandfather people
Yeah.
who have been
Exactly.
standing by and have say for instance say for instance they have 100% positive, they've never had a problem.
Yep.
Every customer is happy with their service. Then just
Grandfather them in.
grandfather them in and
Yeah.
let them be, and then then just the new people signing on just say, hey, these are the rules. You can
Yeah.
do it or not. It's that simple.
And you know what? You know what'll happen is those people that aren't doing that, if they're like, no, I really have to have this thing today, I want it processed. Okay, well, guess what? They're going to go to your competitor. That's
Right.
fine. Let them.
Exactly.
But let the consumer make the
Make that
choice.
their choice, yeah.
Don't force people to make these choices.
Yeah, you're forcing the hand.
Yeah.
And you're destroying a lot of businesses that
Yeah,
people
you're
that are
hurting.
probably,
Well, to hell with destroying, but you're hurting people.
You're hurting
is what
people,
you're doing. You're hurting people, and that's what matters here. And instead, I had a Google Maps has decided that my driveway is a road.
No, hey, that's awesome.
And so it sends people up through my back gate, back by the pasture, and up across my property, past my pastures, up past my house, and up through my front gate because they've just decided it's a road.
Wow.
And the most common offender of that, yes, Amazon trucks pulling through my property.
Put a gate
And
up.
I have a gate, okay, on the
Lock
front
that
end.
gate.
And so, but the thing is, when you see a gate, you realize you've made a mistake.
Right.
When you're driving through and there's horses and dogs and lawns and all this
Anthony,
stuff, you're on a dirt driveway.
You can't control it. You need to put up a toll.
I know. That's a good
That
idea.
would be a good toll.
Yeah, $45 toll.
Every damn time.
No, you know what? That's a good idea. Thank you. But the fact is, this Amazon guy yesterday, I heard him pull up. I'm like, I get out, and I'm like, and so I look out there, and he's jumping out of his truck. He's ready just to open up my front gate and just go through. And I'm like, you clearly aren't aware of Florida law. The moment you open that gate, I get to shoot you. That's Florida law.
Only if he has a lethal weapon.
No. You open a gate, it is considered breaking and entering.
Yeah.
You should put
That's Florida.
You should put a sign out there. If you can outrun my dog, my gun, or my bow and arrow, you can go through.
If you can outrun my crossbow, you can go through.
Well, that's exactly right. There you go.
And unless you got about 300 feet per second on you, you ain't moving.
You know what you do? You can't enter unless you bring in an 800-pound bale of hay and drop it off in the pasture for my horses.
Yes,
go
that's
on
the
you.
toll.
It's funny.
So I end up, I go, excuse me, nope, this is my property. He goes,
Tell Reagan stop.
but my app says
We're
it's a
live,
road.
For God's sake.
My app says it's a road.
No.
And I'm like,
No.
nope, pretty sure that doesn't matter. And what it brought up was this idea that people don't actually care what they're experiencing in reality.
No.
Exactly.
My app says it's okay.
It's right. It's
Right.
If
It's
it's on
amazing.
here.
This is augmented reality,
Exactly.
and
And
your reality is fiction.
God, you
Exactly.
You led us in the most perfect way. So
Yes.
Epic's new meta-human tool lets you craft realistic faces inside a browser. And I actually think, do we have a video on this?
Yeah.
Let's watch that video real quick. This is creepy as hell.
I am a metahuman, the next generation of digital human powered by Unreal Engine. Metahumans are high-fidelity digital characters created by you, the user, on our new content creation platform, MetaHuman Creator. I am fully rigged, ready for animation and motion capture, allowing you to work in context. With everything running live in Unreal Engine, my motion works seamlessly.
On other characters. I have 8 levels of detail and have been tested on a wide range of hardware platforms, from feature film to mobile. If you're interested in learning about my animation rig or high-fidelity deformations, built on Control Rig, the new strand-based hair system via the Groom component, or how everything is tied together and animated in Sequencer, then have a look under the hood in this project. This is just a glimpse of things to come.
Okay, so
So-
when did the actual video of the AI start? Because those are obviously 2 real humans.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. Is that crazy? I mean, that's a tad bit creepy.
Do you remember 80s movie? Oh, I just had the name of it.
Face Off.
No, not
There's a
Face
face-off machine, I tell you. I know there is. You just keep hiding to me. You're lying to me. You're just hiding it from me. Do you remember that movie? McCarthy, and she's a spy, and it's what is it? Statham is in it, and he's a British, and it's FBI, CIA thing right there, and he quits and he goes, and I know there's a face-off machine anyway. Just whatever. I'm sorry.
No, actually, I was
I
going
digress.
after. It wasn't Scanners. It was there was another movie about actors being killed and replaced with that kind of digital technology.
Yes.
And this movie was made like 1982 or 83 or something like that. Had Susan Day, who was known as Laurie Partridge in the old days, in it. No, that was something else entirely. No, this was, look up Susan Day as an actress, D-E-Y, and you'll get the name for it. And by the way, we're speaking to the voice in our heads at this moment.
I like the voices
But
in my head.
it also had, I think, Albert Finney in it. So, which is really weird. I can tell you everybody was in it, but I can't tell you the damn name of the movie. It's a one word. It's like Scanners, Runners, something like that. Around 1982. Looker? Maybe.
And see, back
Lookers?
there
Okay.
wasn't. You got to turn that
Echo.
Echo.
Yeah.
There was another movie about this, almost this exact
Yeah.
same thing. It was a female actress, and everybody fell in love with this actress, whole 9 yards, and it turned out she was AI.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
In
trying
this
to-
case, this is a thriller because what they're doing is they're actually digitizing actors and actresses and then killing them
Interesting.
and saving the money on paying them.
Aha, that's a cool storyline.
That's kind of
Yeah,
That's
and that might have been Lookers. Yeah, but it was Albert Finney and Susan Day.
And everybody's going, 30 years later, he just doesn't look a day over 20.
Yeah, I thought he died. Well, hey, we got Carrie Fisher in the third Star Wars movie.
That's
Think
true.
about that.
We did.
Okay,
We did. And
Yeah,
it was
and we had
awesome.
her young in
we're-
Rogue One.
And don't forget, we're doing voices this way also.
Yes. I mean, so the whole thing is we don't ever need to give up our favorite actors and actresses, which is great because then they can be in the remakes of the movies that they were already in, and then we don't need to change anything.
And those real actors that we can't stand looking at, they can just stay in the background and pretend to be who they are,
Can
on
you
screen,
imagine?
just-
Hold on a minute. Can you imagine that you could take this, okay, and actually switch it around? You go, I love this movie, but I hate Will Ferrell. So I'm going to go ahead and just turn that into Brad Pitt.
Dude. That's the producer's sitting here, he does the whole show. They sit down on that pre-screen, they're like watching, they're like, man, I really wish I would have got, somebody else in there.
Yeah,
And next thing
yeah.
you know, they're just like, click, oh, that's better.
There you go,
Let's
Matt
release
Damon.
it.
Matt Damon, much better than Brad Pitt. Okay, we're going with that.
Here's the name of the movie. You pronounce it Simone, but it's S1M
O-N-E.
O-N-E.
Yeah.
Wow,
In
that's
2002.
Or zero Emmy.
That's a
yeah.
cool,
Neat idea.
cool name too.
Yeah.
Yep. So, and basically, she was a film. She was endangered. And she was a computer-generated female.
She was a sim.
She was a sim.
Yep. Yep.
Right. So,
Well, and now we've seen some that we're able to make right now in a browser.
yeah.
That is just
The Unreal
extraordinary.
browser. So,
Look at the detail on this thing.
Yeah. Right. Is that crazy?
I mean, this is crazy. I mean, this is
Look at the way they're able to.
good Lord. I mean, this is really building up from. I got to go get this software. I'm sorry. I got to.
and I think the software in itself is free from Unreal.
My goodness. So I can go in there and rebuild my own face
Yes.
for all intents and purposes.
Yes, you can.
And that is absolutely extraordinary.
Remember that cool scar you always wanted?
Or the
can
one I
have
want
it
to
now
get rid
without
of?
the pain.
Yeah, there you go.
pain.
Yeah.
What a pain.
This is extraordinary stuff. I mean,
And look at the lighting.
and then everything about it. And the thing is, then you can take it, spin it around, look at it from any angle. You can.
Pretty snazzy.
I can imagine there are going to be some serious costly upgrades on that.
Yeah.
Because
Well, it's always an in-app purchase thing.
yeah, really. But that is extraordinary, and I look forward to playing with that as soon as we get off the air here.
Jeez,
Matter of fact, could
he's
we-
already getting in the
Could
middle
we
of
like
going.
end the show early? I think. Oh, wait a minute, my phone's going off. I have to go. Bye. That is extraordinary. Meet the humans, or meet the meta-humans. Okay. So that was one, and that is very cool. Now, may I segue to mine?
Segue to you, my man. Segue to you.
Because I see I'm like almost next on the
Well,
list.
we always make sure you're up there because sometimes we don't we
Okay.
forget yours, and we don't want to do that anymore.
Everybody who's out there with a website that's accepting stuff like PayPal,
Yes.
please go check your shopping carts. Make sure they are still functioning. We've had a few customers that we have found out their PayPals are no longer PayPal. And they are not able to take credit card payments through their stores. And they were wondering why sales were off. And unless you're following your own process on a regular basis, you may not have noticed. But some of the apps out there and PayPal have just tightened up the regulations. With PayPal, it was like so freaking easy to install PayPal as your payment method.
Right.
Because all you did was put in your email address, and it would go ahead and you could then pay directly into your PayPal account. Whatever your plug-in was, it would link to it and just deposit straight through into your PayPal email address. Easy peasy, eggs and cheesy. Absolutely love working it. Then what happens is they decide they're going to tighten that up. And so now you need to get 3 pieces of identifying material that you can only get from inside the developer app within your PayPal business account. Okay, which include an API code. You've got to get a secret name and a password. So you have to have these 3 secret things. I mean, it's super secure. But in order to get that, to get these API signatures,
you have to know where to go.
You have to know where to go. Now, we've got an article up on WeCraft Sites, okay, giving you step-by-step instructions for how to do that, for how to get that information in case you find that you have had your butt kicked and you're no longer live. So the first thing, go through your own purchase process all the way up to how do I want to pay. If it comes up and no credit card comes up, it says, we take checks and cash, okay, then you got a problem because your PayPal's been kicked out. And so then you're going to open up your PayPal within the back end of your website. Okay, you're going to go in there, you're going to go under settings, you're going to open up PayPal, you're going to look at your PayPal settings, and it's going to be asking you for these 3 pieces of information now. Then you have to go over to your PayPal account, open up another browser window, go to PayPal, and there, if you follow the steps in the WeCraftSites.com blog post that's up, you will then find the step-by-step method for how to get those pieces of information, and then you copy-paste them. And it's nice because PayPal gives you a copy button right next to them, because some of them, even though you're in there, they're still hidden on the screen. You can hit unhide and then copy-paste, but you can just leave them hidden.
Right.
But you can go ahead and hit copy, then you go ahead and you go paste them back in, and then you activate them. For developers and the techies who are working sandbox sites, there's all kinds of convoluted instructions on how to do this on your sandbox site. Ignore that. You are not doing a sandbox site. You are a real person. You have a real website that's really supposed to be making money now. You need the live instructions right now. Don't mess around with the sandbox crap. Okay? You're not going to screw it up because guess what? You're already offline. You can't screw it up any worse than you can by putting in the wrong information into those things until you get them in the right order. And some of them word them differently, but usually 2 out of 3 will be pretty clear, and so you'll know which ones you're supposed to put where. So that's our public service announcement for those of you out there who are doing online selling of your products, even if it's like an inline or a offline pickup, curb delivery, whatever. You got to make sure that you're still active with that. So there you go. Aren't you glad you heard it here?
I'm trying to think. Do I have any sites that have all?
Yeah, we do actually.
I'm just glad at least that they took away the credit card processing feature, so at least sales didn't kind of go through and then just randomly disappear and then start and be made on a site you shipped out and then had no money. That would be even worse.
Yes. What my big thing is, it's like, okay, so they have your email address for your PayPal. What can anybody do with that besides send you money?
Right.
Nothing. That's why it existed the way it did for so long, because nobody can actually do anything with that except send you money. It doesn't give them access to anything, so I know what your PayPal email address is. So what? That's all you're going to get. Okay? And so it's like, I don't really understand why PayPal had to jack up their security requirements over this thing. But they did, and here we stand now with, like I say, it's made it more secure, but it also makes it a lot harder for business owners who now have to go jump through all kinds of hoops in order to take the credit card payments, which once again, if you're a big company and you got big money and you can afford things like, big minimum wages, then, they don't really care about the regulations. But if you're a small guy, mom and pop, trying to do the stuff yourself, it hurts. It just hurts because it takes you offline.
All right. Well, that gives a lot of people a lot to think about. And they're going, So I'm going to jump over to this is for our boy here. So AMD is analyzing USB disconnect issue in 500 series motherboards. I think I had this problem, but I didn't know this was what it was. Does that make any? So what?
Yeah, it basically be on AMD chipset boards, but the usually when it comes down to AMD issues like these, it usually has to do with drivers. I love AMD as the ability to for their chipsets and stuff, but for instance, their graphics drivers are just horrible when it comes to the consumer side, and just really difficult to get working. and to play nice with certain applications. And this looks like it most likely, instead of being a chipset issue, even though it is the chipset that's controlling the USB driver, most likely this has to do with some kind of coding when they wrote the drivers for the AMD the SMB, the motherboard motherboard driver chipset. And they have the north bridge and the south bridge and the connectors and stuff like that. So most likely it's just a driver issue, and they'll probably get it corrected. And then you got on top of that, you have Windows 10 constantly changing, and you know, by the time they get a driver to work, and then next thing you know, Microsoft,
but you get
Microsoft,
there.
One of those companies
gets to decide, you know, whether or not they're gonna, now say that driver is no longer digitally signed, and those drivers come offline. You get instability in a chipset, and next thing you know, you get silly problems like this.
Okay.
So probably nothing to be too worried about right now, but just keep your eyes on it.
So it's not something where people are going to take their computers, laptops, whatever, in and go, oh, you need to change the board out.
Right. Yeah, I wouldn't say that right now. Just watch for driver updates. I would go directly to the motherboard manufacturer and check their website for the updates versus getting the updates from Microsoft, because Microsoft might have an outdated driver available that might be causing the issue. And the best thing to do is just go right to the motherboard manufacturer's website.
Okay, so if you don't know what motherboard's in your computer, can you find that out?
Most of the time, they're talking about people that have built their own systems. But if you've, for instance, in a case like you don't know who built the board because you have a Dell system or an OEM that was built, then you just go to the OEM's manufacturer's website, and they'll have the updated BIOS there. I'm not the BIOS, but the drivers there.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's the chipset drivers is what you're going to be looking for.
I want to address a bigger issue here, and that should we be calling them parent boards now so that we don't offend anyone?
Oh, well, yeah.
I don't know, because they do have daughter boards still. So
well, then they should be like offspring boards. Springboards. I like that.
Springboards.
Offspring boards.
Where's the daddy board?
A second.
So, that was my contribution.
Who's your daddy
to that.
board? We'll call that the
Who's your
daddy board?
Who's your parent? Who's your parent?
Yeah.
It's probably the processor. It plugs into the motherboard.
No.
And then it gives you the
board.
daughter board off
No,
the side.
no, offspring board.
Okay, we've gone the wrong way.
There we go.
That's awesome. Anyway, so here...
You can always count on us for
we're
really
going to talk about
insightful
something
discussion.
fun. Right, I know.
Fun.
Yep. New beer vending machines might be the future of bars.
That is... Now, I just imagine myself, just like sidling up to the machine and telling it my life story and hoping it gives me good advice.
Well, better than what's coming from the other side now anyway.
Doesn't matter. At least it's a sympathetic ear. I mean, this thing is like got a sympathetic recording device that's going to be used by Amazon to blackmail me later. Okay, by sending me, oh my God! By the way, had our own little Facebook thing, but we'll come back to that later.
It's going to print out its advice at the bottom of the beer glass. So when you finish it, you read it, and you're like,
"You've been poisoned." Oh my God!
Damn it!
So they're doing this in the Netherlands, right? It's called Beerport.
I think that is cool as heck.
And so it's just literally, it's like, oh yeah. You know how when you go in and you can go in and get the coffee or tea or soda.
It's
going to be the same thing.
They have the big machines where you digitally, pick your soda that you want and how much, and you just pop it under. But this may be like, I'm going to choose Guinness. I'm going to choose it warm. I'm going to
that would be so. Well, then again. Now you have to scan the ID, but then you got to use facial recognition of the person that's, getting the beer.
Actually ordering it.
Yeah.
So this is a massive invasion of privacy right here in order to make it legal. Unless you have to be of a certain age just to get into the establishment where it then serves you. Then how does it count how many you had and you've had too many? What, just like measure how you hold your glass?
Well, you know,
I got
it's got a breathalyzer.
Yeah, I got
on it.
Parkinson's.
I can't get it in.
Oh, there you go,
I can't get it in.
breathalyzer. There you
Yeah.
go.
I'm sorry, sir. You're 5 times over the legal driving limit. We cannot serve you anymore.
Well, it's like it's walking up and you're going, I need another beer. It's like, if you're talking to me, you're not getting any more beer.
Wait, I need another beer. Please insert your keys.
What are you doing,
In America,
Dave?
we just made it easier. We just
What
put
are
a,
you doing, Dave?
we put a tap room on every freaking corner. I mean, there used to be churches on every corner. Now there's tap rooms on every corner.
Yeah, true.
Well, yeah,
like-
but you know, it's all craft
We have one
beer,
coming in
so
here
it's okay.
in the plaza.
But it's all craft beer, so it's okay.
Yeah, no.
Oh.
Wrong.
And moonshine used to.
By the way, we had our own Facebook monitoring our conversations episode.
Really?
That was, yeah. I mean, within an hour, we saw an ad for what we were talking about that we had never spoken of before, and I got an hour later, I get the ad on Facebook for it.
I told you.
Yeah.
Me
Yeah.
and my son
Yeah.
did this a long time ago.
Yeah.
We talked about.
Yeah, but for you, it took the next day. We got it in an hour.
No,
the
we
ads
had
are up.
Well, yeah, I guess it could have been there earlier, but yeah, we
Yeah.
started talking about porcupines just because.
Get a pet
And
porcupine.
man,
Yep.
the ads just started rolling. Like, really? Well, okay, so on your phone, you can go into the app inside, and you get on your back inside your system side,
yeah.
and tell it turn off tracking.
Yeah.
So you can
Yeah.
turn it off now.
Which
before you could not.
I thought mine was off.
well, no.
And so
Every
we're
update,
in the
they
car
turn it back
having
on.
a conversation about someone, a friend of ours is going to cosplay a character that carries a broadsword. And so I'm sitting there saying, well, you know, and she wants to have, you know, lessons in how to use a two-handed broadsword. So I'll be showing her the basics of two-handed, because I used to fight competitively. Thank you. You know, so I'll be showing her the basics, all that. An hour later, I'm getting ads for, you know, private lessons for broadswords. Okay, learn how to fight with a broadsword and a longsword. I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. Never in the 15 years I've been on Facebook have I ever received an ad for that. But 1 hour after discussing it in the car, there was the ad.
Damn.
Yep. So.
To go turn
Yep. And that is so obscure. I'm sorry, that ad did not just randomly show up an hour after we had the discussion in the car. Yeah, no.
That's
That
why
didn't
we try to
happen.
have just absurd discussions.
Exactly.
And see just what the hell shows up.
And see what shows up.
Don't even get me started. I get so much crap on my phone.
Yeah, and now
And
the,
it's all
and
random.
now the texting thing is driving us insane. Oh my God, it's like, poor Rob. They must think he's like 1,000 pounds or something, because it's constant diet, and lose some weight, blah blah blah. I'm like,
I get.
really?
Do you want to publish your book? Do you want to? We will ghostwrite your book. I get like, I'll hit. I finally stopped hitting stop because they just sold my number to somebody else who started all over again.
Yeah.
And it's
Did
the
you put
same
did you
thing.
Did you go put your name on the no text list? Just because you're on the no call list does not mean you're not on the no text.
I'll need to go look at that. Thank you.
Yeah, didn't know that either.
Yeah.
That was totally.
And there's some more information
And speaking
for you
of
out there
Facebook,
in the audience.
The WhatsApp. Do you use the WhatsApp?
No, but I have a lot of family that does.
Do you use the WhatsApp?
No, I don't.
I have a lot of friends in India, obviously, for some reason. So
It's easier for people
yeah.
who are overseas to communicate,
Yeah.
you know,
I know.
internationally.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So their new privacy policy, if you don't go and accept it, you start losing functionality on the May 15th.
Did they
I don't
explain
understand
what
how
functionality? It
that
just doesn't
is.
I think
that
it-
is how anything works.
I think
Yeah.
I think they.
You're right.
Because if you're Apple, so here's my question: if Apple is saying no, but yet
Facebook is saying.
Facebook and WhatsApp says, well, you got to sign this or you're Facebook, and this stops working. Who supersedes?
So by signing the agreement, you state that you will allow us to cross-track
Right.
over apps.
Right.
And yeah, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be a tit for tat type situation.
That was my big question.
Well, and I will also say that as soon as they start to cut functionality, they are probably in violation of Apple's store terms. Okay, that
here
your
we go.
apps have to work right. okay, in order to be in our store. And if they're finding dead ends and things that aren't working right,
And you can't
then
force our
they'll
clients to
kick
sign
them
your
out
crap.
of then they'll kick them out of the store.
Basically, another epic.
Another epic. Here we go. It's going to be an epic battle between Facebook and Apple.
There we go.
Well, you know what? Technically, Apple is the hardware vendor, and without
Yep.
that hardware, that software can't really function. And you know what? Their biggest user base is phones.
Yep.
So it's just going to be interesting of how they're going to.
Yeah, I'm not going to
How it's
sign it
gonna
on
play.
purpose.
Right.
I'm just going to see. I won't accept it because that way I can go.
And you know what? And by, say, for instance, you go into your phone and change the settings afterwards, does that automatically initiate those terms that pop back up again and reduce functionality?
Right.
You know? So basically, can you, accept the terms, turn on full functionality, go back in, turn off cross-app,
Yeah.
data sharing, and then next thing you know, they say, oh, we stopped receiving information from WhatsApp. Bleep, click. You're no longer going to be able to get supported.
Yep. Who
Interesting.
knows? We will find out
Yes.
because we are
Because
the guinea
somebody
pigs.
somebody will sue somebody, and we'll
Somebody,
know
yeah.
when
This-
that's
yeah.
finally.
We are the lab rats.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we are.
That's it.
Sucks. So, okay, so the next one is China. This I think you'll find. China hijacked an NSA hacking tool in 2014 and has been using it for years.
China's hijacked a hacking tool to hijack.
They basically hacked a hacker.
They
Yeah.
hacked
The
the hacker.
NSA, who's been using this software, now all of a sudden China's, and then all of a sudden, the NSA goes, "Hey,
I
you're
recognize
using our
that line of
crap.
code. Wait a
What's
minute.
up with that? They're using our own crap against us."
You know, that's usually how that always worked, right? Right down to the VCR.
Yeah. Yep. Right.
Oh, jeez. So yeah, I mean that's it's inevitable. And anytime they have some kind of digital tools out there and they have it accessible to the internet at some point somehow,
Yeah.
it's just a matter of time before somebody gets their hands on it. It's
Yep.
it's just going to happen.
Yeah.
So
You
either-
have got to black box your code every way you can.
yeah. So it's that.
Even if it means that you're not even writing it online, you're writing it on you have another computer set aside, to run your simulations, to run all that stuff. If you've got proprietary code, you need to run. Anything with
But does that
a
mean
connection.
that show needs to run offline,
Yeah.
completely offline?
Yeah,
So if you're
yeah.
going to transfer, you put you take a hard drive over, you drop it into there.
Bang. Yeah. You keep the code.
That's a lot.
Okay.
Then that code,
yeah.
once that code gets seen on the internet
Yeah,
somewhere, it's going to be fair
You
game.
just copy
so.
paste. And a lot of people don't really realize that you may not even notice that your code has been hacked and that you've lost it, because one of the biggest hackers in the world is, of course, governments, and they will use it for military applications. And so you can't have access to that code. You can't see it. There's only one customer, okay? And so you would lose the revenue from anyone that bought it, except there's nobody buying it.
Right.
Okay, because it's the government that's hacked it, and so you're not losing any revenue. So they can just steal copyrighted material, basically, which is why if you're writing, really important, wow kind of software, a patent doesn't protect you. Because your biggest customers, especially if you're writing stuff that might be for military application, your biggest customer will just take your patent application and go, "Thank you," because it'll have all the code in it. And so you're just like, okay, I just handed it to them. And then they're like, thanks.
See ya.
Bye.
Right.
And so it really is a terrible place to be, because same thing with large companies. I mean, if you have anything out there that they can grab a copy of in one way or another and they clone it, they'll come out, they'll rewrite enough of the code and then just pirate the crap out of it.
Right.
Or they won't even rewrite the code, and it's up to you to prove that it was your code in the first place. If you filed it in a patent application, great. I mean, really, that's your best bet. But you know darn well they're not going to mess around unless they've changed the code enough that it's no longer an infringement.
Right.
So, yeah, we've been suggesting clients do a lot of black boxing of their, primary code elements.
Right.
And figuring out how to completely sequester that information so that it's part of another operation, but it has to be accessed separately. So, just little details.
So
Excuse me.
we all love our Macs, right? Mm-hmm. We all love them. Even though I got a PC out here now, I'm actually more of a Mac guy than I am a PC guy. But Silver Sparrow malware has been discovered on 30,000 infected Macs.
I've been reading, and this is very interesting because they don't know exactly what it's doing. They do know there's a kill switch on it that they can just basically shut it down whenever they feel like. They don't know exactly what it's doing. And even better yet, this has been able to run natively on Apple's M1 chips.
Oh, crap.
So not only is it, that means it's in the operating system today. It's capable of running in the newest operating system on Mac OS, and it can also run natively on the new Mac M1 chips, which is really interesting because how did they get that code right off the bat to be able to run it natively to begin with, unless somewhere along
something in the way it was written?
Yeah, somewhere along the line, either in the way it's written. But like, say for instance, a lot of applications outside of Apple products are, when they're written, like say for instance, you're gonna download the Adobe Cloud. It's gonna ask you, hey, are you running an M1 chip or are you running an x86 or Intel based chip? And that's going to determine the software that it installs on your Mac for your particular machine. Mm-hmm. But this runs natively. And the problem with that is it'll be there when you do an update. It will be there when you pull a time machine.
Yep. So you just keep copying it back.
Right.
So the question I have is, most Mac owners don't have antiviral software on them.
No.
Because you don't need them on a Mac, but maybe you do. So what would you suggest that a Mac owner use?
The best one that you could use on a Mac is, well, it's right there advertised. Malwarebytes. Malwarebytes does work wonders on Macs. It's great. As a matter of fact, they are one of the companies that had detected this Silver Sparrow, Silver Arrow, whatever you want to call it, Silver Surfer.
Being the guy.
Silver Surfer.
That's going to take the other side. You know the old story. He who smelt it first dealt it, right? So they found it. Is it theirs?
No. The reason they probably found it is because of doing scans.
Right.
And they're finding it in the wild.
Okay.
And what's happening is their definitions are not detecting it. And it's throwing up flags. And what happens is a lot of time those developers will ask, the software to send back reports. Mm-hmm. And they'll look through those reports for things that are different. All of a sudden, if you see a sudden change in what's being scanned and it's found across a numerous amount of machines, then they start going in there. What software vendor made this? If there's no software vendors out there that made it, something's going on.
Right.
And then that starts throwing some red flags. They start digging deeper, and next thing you know, they find this, and this is what's happened. Now, 30,000 machines, that's not a lot. But that's only because
how many have they looked at?
Correct.
30,000 out of how many?
Right. And who doesn't have that particular software that was scanning or has ever scanned their machine? Right. So, and how far back does this go? Does this go back to El Captain, or any other older systems? Is this a new variant that was just built for the newer operating systems? And believe it or not, like say for instance, if you install the newest operating system right now on Mac OS, what happens is it asks you, like say for instance, you install Malwarebytes. It's going to ask you, hey, can I have full disk access to be able to scan the hard drive? Yes or no? Because even itself can't install without asking a prompt from you to give it full disk access. So this software getting on here and being able to bypass those security features,
that's crazy,
is very interesting.
So will Malwarebytes get rid of it?
As of now, I believe that now that it's been found and they're writing about it, I believe they've already have the definitions loaded.
So my question
hopefully the next update
Okay,
will
so
also crush it.
Right. So if you have it on there and you have externals and you have the time machine, can you tell malware about can you connect and go find it on all these devices?
It won't
and get
find.
rid of it?
No, on the time machines, it will not. So the best thing to do when it comes to a time machine is go ahead and run the software, clean up the machine, get the machine running properly,
And then new backup.
Then yes, go ahead
And then
start
delete
a
your
new,
old backups.
Yeah, start a new time machine backup. Hope to God you got everything that you need, because say for
Yeah,
instance,
what if I've got stuff on there that I haven't touched in 6 months that I don't have on this machine anymore because I put it over there?
right? Now the nice thing about time machine is you can roll back and pull one single item out of a time machine and bring it back.
Oh, okay.
My suggestion would be it's time to go ahead and do a little inventory and start figuring out what you have. Pull back some of the stuff. If you've already erased it and you might need it, go into your time machine, find it, that what you had on your desktop or anything like that, grab it, pull it back, and then save it on your desktop now, make your time machine backup, and then delete everything else.
I wonder what the devil is the cost to American businesses, small businesses, business owners, and individuals
It's got to be in the
to
billions.
have to go through this kind of work, not just for this, but for
Billions.
all of these stupid hacks and phishing and just malware, everything else that's out there. What is the actual cost in hours and labor and mental just mind screwing
Oh yeah,
that we have to go through because somebody figures out how to do it and they think it's fun
exactly.
to release?
It's billions of
It's either
dollars.
fun or lately what has been is obviously
Yeah, the ransomware.
Yeah, it's different government agencies or state agencies
Yes.
that are out there that are running this.
Yes.
Because they have no other way to make income.
Yep.
So they're out there, stealing and locking people's money. They just want money.
Yeah.
Okay. Their bottom line, they just want money.
Right.
But again, this is where you got to make sure you have proper backups. But see, even if you have proper backups, even if you have
Your backups are gonna have it in it.
the cost of doing business, and the money and the labor involved in having to get this stuff rectified is ridiculous. It is.
It's and you multiply that out by how many millions of businesses. I mean, they found 30,000 laptops that Macs that had this thing
yeah.
on it. If that was out of 100,000 scanned,
Exactly.
Okay.
And for any
Then
machine that doesn't
OMG.
have anything, they don't have anything to scan with. They just keep running. If this stuff's just sitting there laying dormant,
yeah,
that's a scary thought.
yep. Well, now we know how to undo that stuff. I'm glad we got to that part of the segment. We left off some good stuff, but now it's time to go.
We got to go. Hey, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Got any questions or answers or comments, hit us up on Facebook.
You know where
or
we are.
Tech Shamans at WeBeam TV Guide. See you guys.
See
next
ya.
week. Have a techie
Later.
week.
We got the plans 'cause we are the Tech Shamans. We understand 'cause we are the Tech Shamans. Dude, I got this cool thing to show you. Really, man? Yeah, it's far out and technical and stuff. Oh, so, yeah. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the Tech Shamans. Cool.